The inaugural Racing Balls V-Carb 01, whatever it's called, is finally here. We've finally got a bit of colour on an F1 car. It's a beautiful thing. But is it perfect? Well, look, let's have a deeper look at the car itself, and then I'm going to have a go at making it even better. My name's Tommo. Let's talk about it. Got me up at the crack of dawn this morning, 6:15 AM UK time anyway, because it was launched in Vegas at this swanky event. There was no stream either, so they just chucked a bunch of renders out at 6:30 in the morning. But I'll tell you what, it was worth getting up early for, because at long last we're seeing an F1 car that isn't just a bunch of carbon fibre, okay? The halo, the body, the nose is all paint in that kind of blue, almost kind of slightly purple shade that they've got going on. You've got the metallic elements, you've got the white and the red as well. This one's going to pop on screen, no question. So that's a good start. Is it actually a good livery though, taking that context away? Well look, it's clearly a throwback to the Toro Rosso days, which has gone down incredibly well. The nostalgia is there for sure. Again, you've got the chromed ball, just like back in the day, chromed Visa, chromed Cash App as well. But then it combines that chrome with then white elements for Honda, for Hugo, for Visa, Cash App and Tudor on the top of the nose. I was expecting more green on the car, to be honest, with Cash App being a title sponsor, and there are little hits dotted around, but red is for sure the kind of secondary colour on this car. The highlight colour, should I say. From the kind of perspective angle, I think this car is phenomenal. It looks unreal. From a side profile, pretty good as well. I think the white with the red outline is a bit questionable. I prefer the solid red that they used to have back in the day. Front on, I'm not so keen, to be honest. A lot of the sponsors, the placement and the sizing is a bit weird. I mean, the Cash Apps on the front wing seem just too big, just excessively big. There's no space around them, like hardly any space at all. You go up and you've got Visa twice along the top of the nose, and then that Visa is really close to Cash App. The number's really small as well. The sponsor placement on that nose is really bothering me. And you got the huge Cash App on the rear wing as well. It's like bursting at the seams, man. It's crazy. But also you can see from this real life picture that the chrome is nice in theory, but in certain lightings it's not going to pop. It's very difficult to comment on a reflective car, a design that's underpinned not just by colour but by a kind of reflectiveness to matte-ness. It's a bit chaotic, but overall, relative to the other liveries we've talked about, this is going in mild bang. Still a few things I would change, but overall very good, ahead of the McLaren and the Sauber, but not quite a banger. But that's where I come in. So using the F1 car model from RaceSimStudio, link in description down below, here is my rendition of the 2024 Racing Balls. Now before you say anything, I know it's not shiny. I would have made it shiny, but I couldn't work out how to in the model. It wasn't working for some reason. Restricted by the limitations of my skill, I'm sorry. So let's start with the side profile. This is a way more loyal reflection of the original, isn't it? The solid red on that blue, I think is so nice. I get they've tried to do something different. They don't want to do a carbon copy, and this is much more of a carbon copy, but I like this. This is nice, but I like this more. Sponsor placement is pretty much identical on the side. You've got the Visa RB on the side of the rear wing. And again, I think when you've got a colourful body, you can get away with having your front and rear wings a bit more exposed carbon. I think as long as the base has that, I think you're fine. There's a couple of little minor things I've changed up. So for example, with the Orlan, I don't think they're making the best use of that space in terms of like make the Orlan text bigger and really fill that red box. Same goes with Cash App, right? So I'm using just the Cash App green on the outside of the front wing end plate and then the Cash App text on the inside. So they kind of work together to maximize that space. I think that works a bit better. But then I've moved Epicor from the front wing end plate to the top of the side pod inlet. Hugo on the side, again, I've used a red base with white text on that. I've just reversed the colours from the real thing. But also I've not carried that over the top. I think Visa, Cash App and all that work on the blue. I don't think you need to white that out, and just that section of the car and the real thing just doesn't quite sit right with me. Front wing's very much the same, but I've blued out one of the kind of winglets just to tie it to the design a bit more. I've made the cash apps a bit smaller and put them in the green and the white, because I don't really understand why on the front wing the cash app green isn't green. Maybe just because it's too big. And then just generally down on the nose, I feel like I've just smartened up the positioning of the logos. We've still got the 2 red balls on the side, which I think is really nice, but then I've put Honda on the front instead of HRC, first of all, because HRC is Honda Racing something. Having the full Honda logo on it is a much more Toro Rosso throwback for sure, but also everyone knows what Honda is. No one knows what HRC is. Big Orland, Big Pirelli, Big Ravenel, Big Tudor, then Cash App and Visa living on their own higher up, and then the number 38 shining as per. Rear wing with Orland, instead of the white base and the red text, I've reversed it because it just pops a lot more. I think it works balance wise. I think you've got the white with the red Hugo on the front and then the red with the white Orland on the back. It works for me. And then you come around to the back, and just like on the real thing, actually, you got the full colour Visa on white, but it's quite a small logo just kind of in the middle, and if anything that just makes it stand out a bit more, because usually logos fit that rear space very well, and almost I'm kind of glad it doesn't, because it just makes it more distinctive, I guess. I do really like what they've done with the real thing, but this for me is better and a closer homage to the classic. Sorry I couldn't get the reflectiveness to work. Wait, before we wrap, I worked out how to do the shiny paint, okay? It doesn't look that much different. It still doesn't communicate the full chrome nature, but it's a little bit better. And also, while I was at it, I thought I'd have a go at a couple of special edition liveries inspired by the white Red Bull we saw in Japan a couple of years ago, a few years ago now. Blimey, 2021 that was, wasn't it? Crazy. Starting with the whiteout version, so most of the logos have changed to either red or black. We've still got the Cash App green in there. I'm going to keep that consistent throughout. I think it's the title sponsor. Come on, let them have it. Or, like the race suits they had in Mexico last season, a red ball that's not a Red Bull, it's RB, which stands for Racing Bulls, but not Racing Bulls, because it's just RB, it just stands for RB, because that clearly makes sense. So there you go, of my redesign, which of the 3 versions do you prefer? For me, it's got to be the classic though. That blue and that red together is just, it's a beautiful thing. As always, I will pin a comment down below. Let me know which you prefer, mine or the real thing. That's 6 of 10 done now. We've got a weekend off, and then we're back again on Monday. I assume, I've not even looked at what the next one is. I need a little bit of a break over the weekend because I've been uploading a lot, and I hope you've been enjoying the videos. Because yeah, Feb is my favourite part of the year, content-wise, and obviously Lewis and Andretti helped, I guess, right? Don't forget to check out all my other redesigns if you haven't already. My name's Tommo. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.